Let's look at this. This also from Pro Football Focus. Browns offense under Kevin Stefanski. And when you look at it, you see the grades 78.5, 77.8. That one that's in the 60s, I would caution. That was, you had PJ Walker starting games. You had Dorian Thompson Robinson as a rookie who didn't find out he was starting the first Ravens game until the morning of. You had a banged up Deshaun Watson playing and so on. When you look at the grades that Kevin Stefanski has earned, what do you see?
I think he's a really good offensive-minded head coach. I think he's proven that in his career, and I think he's a guy that I have full trust in to run an offense at a very nice level. And that's why I don't really blame any of the Watson struggles on anyone but Watson, right? Because he's had some good supporting cast in terms of the offensive line, in terms of Nick Chubb, a solid receiving core at least too. Yeah, I think that a lot of the blame is just on Watson. I think Stefanski has proven that he could be a really, really good head coach and a really good offensive mind in the NFL. And I think the grades show that right there. And yeah, I think he just needs to figure out the quarterback position. And more importantly, Deshaun Watson needs to figure out whether or not he can still be a franchise quarterback for a team.
When you look at what they've done on the offensive side of the ball with Dorsey, kind of revamping it, trying to build around Deshaun Watson's skill set, doesn't that make that to me that makes sense? If you're gonna acquire a guy, give him the contract you gave him, sink the draft capital into getting him, you better do everything you can to maximize that guy.
Yeah, it's smart. I think that's obviously the big, like I said, it's the biggest X factor in the NFL is Deshaun Watson, and you need to make sure if you're the Cleveland Browns to surround him with as much as you can and make him as comfortable as possible. That way, if he fails, you know it's not your fault. You know, there's been plenty of times in the NFL where quarterbacks have failed, and I would say, hey, maybe part of it really wasn't their fault. You know, like some guys were just in awful situations, and the Browns are doing a good job of putting Watson in a good situation that way, if he does fail, like I said, you can just say, hey, you know what? He's just not the guy. And we got to move on and we can find a different guy. So I think that's what the Browns are trying to do right now. And that's why so much of the pressure is now on Watson's shoulders and to show that, hey, I am worth the massive contract. I am worth the haul of picks that you traded to get me. And I can be the franchise quarterback for the Browns in the future.